Hey, good morning. It's Mike Zschunke, Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shipton Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona. Friday morning market chat live. We're going to talk about residential. We're going to talk about commercial. We're going to talk about the economy, and then just got a lot on my mind we may finish up with. I don't know. We'll see how the time goes. So anyway, inventory. We always start with single-family detached inventory. Up again this week. We're still back to January numbers. You know, it tightened up a little bit over the past couple months. But Maricopa County, we've got like 18,700 and something single-family detached homes. Scottsdale, we're up to 1,243 single-family detached homes on the market. So we're starting to see those come back on the market. We're seeing a lot of buyers and sellers come off the fence. You know, we'll talk about it later, but there's a lot of news out there. And actually, yes, mortgage rates have dipped down over the past few weeks. Nothing to do with yesterday's, or was it Wednesday's Fed rate cut. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But a lot of people, it's all perspective and perception. And, you know, is it a good time to buy? I don't know. Is it a good time to sell? It's really up to you. It depends on your situation. I can't make that decision for you. But we do have more homes under contract this right now, than we did last year at this time. I think Maricopa County, we're up like 11% over last year. In Scottsdale, we're up almost 18% of homes under contract than we were last year. So that's good. You know, things are moving. And like I said, you're feeling energy. Prices are fairly flat. You know, Scottsdale median sold is up 3% over last month. Does that just mean smaller homes? As the homes get smaller, price per square foot increases. So you know, pay attention. Details matter. But, and also it's just taking a little bit longer to sell. We're really just back into this normal market. We've been spoiled over these past couple years with all the craziness. We're just, you know, it'll be 70 days on market. That's pretty normal. That's pretty good. And again, you know, if you price it right, it sells. The homes that we're seeing come on the market, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, they're coming back, and I'm seeing some good deals out there. They're priced right. You got a new agent representing them, and they always say be the third realtor to list a home. So anyway, and you know, I say details matter. Look at Oncala Country Club. Sales price over the past 12 months is about $1.7 million. That's up 7% from the previous 12 months prices. But if you look at the Shea corridor, Shea Boulevard on the, like from Frank Lloyd Wright out to Fountain Hills, kind of that area, average price is $963,000. Prices are down 5% from the previous 12 months. So I hesitate to stick on percentages and numbers because each community, I say it every week, has their own little environment. And, you know, that if you want to know which, like how your market is or where you're looking to sell, just give me a call and we'll run a quick report for you. And that's what I always say. It's buying or selling real estate. You're really building your team. It's like, I don't know, if you go into surgery or if you're going into a lawsuit or something, you're building your team. You have your inspector, you have the lender, you have the title company. And hopefully, and your realtor kind of is the point man on all that. They make sure everything kind of goes smoothly. If it's a plain, straight, vanilla deal, then it goes pretty smooth. But like yesterday, I'm working on a deal now. I just got it clear to close. Remember, deals are not done until they're done. But I just, as I was pushing the live button, saw that we got a clear to close on it. But I didn't know. I'm on the sell side, or my client's on the sell side. I didn't know the lender. I didn't know the buyer's agent. I'd never worked with them. It's a part-time agent. So actually I got a lot of phone calls of, I don't know how to do this. And sometimes I shake my head that somebody's paying them to represent them. But actually I had a couple of those this week, which was interesting, which is fine. I'm going to say it again. I think it's too easy to get a real estate license in Arizona. So really pay attention to who you're working with. And like I said, call them. See if they answer their phone. I had one agent I was trying to get a hold of. I've got a ready, willing, able buyer that wants to buy some land. Took me 3 days to get a hold of the listing agent. Finally, after 48 hours, ethically, I can call the seller. So I called the seller, and guess what? 5 minutes later, the listing agent called me back and said, okay, yeah, how can we make this happen? So we'll see. I don't know. Just pay attention to not pay attention. Do your homework who you want to work with. I hope it's me. If it's not, and maybe we don't click, I can point you in the right direction. There's some good agents in the valley, and it's always nice when we work with them. I'll be happy to point. Maybe you work better with this person. Maybe you work better with that person. Maybe you work better with me. That'd be great. I'd love to help you out. But we're here. I'm not in sales. I'm here to provide a service. So it's all about our relationships. And the more we communicate, the better I can serve you, and your agent can serve you too. Think about like Elon Musk. I was going to say Elon Musk probably doesn't know how to build a rocket ship, but he might. But he hires the right people. He hires the people. He knows what he doesn't know. And he's really good at putting people together. And that's why he's the richest person in the world. So you got to know, what you don't know, and build your team. And, real estate's not difficult as long as everything goes smooth, but rarely does everything go smooth. So anyway, actually just pay attention real quick to fraud. Actually, American Land Title Association, they create the title reports, and they oversee the title industry. They came out with some new fraud protections for homeowners just because it is an issue. There's a lot of fraudulent, real estate is public information. A lot of it, we try and protect our clients' privacy and do offline, off market and things like that. But a lot of it's public information. There's a lot of people out there. So anyway, the title company has come. They recognize that, and they are now having some fraud protection. So make sure you face to face, nose to nose. I always say, do not talk to someone. And I always say, have the verbal communication, the talk back and forth. It's really tough to do business. Texting and emailing. So pick up the phone, have a conversation, and communicate. I think that's becoming a lost art. But like Josh Brown said, he's a hedge fund guy. He said, we have to have more. Technology allows us to have more time for face-to-face interactions. And that's what we have to do. We have to protect ourselves. Anyway, commercial. Commercial, I've said before, is held very tight to the chest. Even used the Crexi, the Co-Stars. Those are all whatever the broker inputs. So can you rely on that data information? I'm looking now we're working on some land deals for some ranchers and looking for some properties, and you really have to go to the tax records and get the data information, see what's sold, what hasn't sold, and what's around there, the zoning permits. And in land, due diligence is super important. You want to get it under contract, ask for a 60, 90-day due diligence, and really do your homework. Talk to the county, talk to the city. Make sure you can do what you want to do on that property. I saw interesting, storage units have been hot the past few years, but I saw a thing from 21 to 22, there were $2.8 billion of storage unit transactions, and in the first half of 2025, there were $2 billion. So is that fading away? I don't know. I think a lot of commercial real estate, I've said before, it's short-term lending, 5-10-year loans. So if those deals were done in 21, 22 at 0% interest rates, 0% mortgages, or not mortgages, 0% interest rate on their SBA loans and things like that, then that's all going to be coming due soon. So I think commercial is really going to take off. I think we're going to see a lot of opportunities there. Toll Brothers, they're jumping out of the multifamily business. They're going back to focus on luxury homes. They realize that there's going to be an influx of properties coming on the market, so they're jumping out of that business. I went to a DC ranch meeting. There's Mac Industry is trying to downsize for those industrial units to put in a Rivian Auto Center, which is fine. It's just, my concern is what's going to happen. Does that set a precedent to change the zoning up there? And that, pay attention, that whole northeast corner of 101, that is going to change significantly over the next few years. Go on scottsdaleaz.gov under planning, zoning and planning, and you can see what's in the work. There's 45 projects right now in Scottsdale awaiting public hearing, and there's 410 projects under construction. So know what's going on. And I'm thankful I do commercial and real estate and residential, so I get to see both sides of that. I'm involved on the commercial end. I see what's happening in the community and on the residential side and see how that affects. If I get a buyer that's looking in a certain area, it's my job to tell them, how's this, I can't steer, but this is happening. So and actually there was up in Rio Verde, there was a good conversation yesterday about know what you're moving into. If you're moving next to a horse ranch, you better know what it's like to live next to a horse ranch. It looks pretty on, what's the show, Yellowstone, but it's a lot of work. So anyway, just commercial, a lot of things going on around the valley. TSMC, the chip factory, they just committed partnering for a 6,000 acre mixed-use project with 15,000 residential units up in the northwest corner of the valley. So that's big. And then I just saw, just as I was going on too, Mac Industries, they just got funding of $80 or $90 million to build infrastructure in Deer Valley. So Deer Valley is close enough. We were looking around Deer Valley last year to the year before? And a lot of that industrial was hot because they knew that as that factory comes in, there's going to be a need for the factory suppliers. So on the commercial end, just pay attention to what's happening down the road. We want to look 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road. What's that area going to look like? And like I always say, own the real estate. I've been working on a paper. I've been a little busy, so I put it to the sideline. But own the real estate. 100% bonus depreciation is huge. Ask your accountant. I'm not an accountant. Ask your accountant. But it's big. As a small business owner, it makes sense to own the real estate. Economy. It's been an interesting week, and there's a lot of bad information out there. Maybe I'm a little rough on some people about it. But I had a Fed rate meeting. The goal of the economy, the U.S. Treasury, the Federal Bank Reserve, they want a nice, smooth increase, nice productive economy. The Fed cuts rates to inject when the economy's not so hot. They inject to keep that productivity moving forward. So anyway, you'll see the Fed funds rate, Jerome Powell, they cut their target rate. How do they adjust that target? They don't just say this is the rate. They cut their target rate and they adjust that through buying and selling U.S. Treasuries. They adjust liquidity. They hold bonds on their balance sheet. They sell bonds, mortgage-backed securities. That's really, the 10-year yield plus some sort of premium on the mortgage-backed securities. That's what sets your mortgage rate. So anyway, Jerome Powell, I think maybe it was just kind of make everybody happy rate cut. I don't think he really wanted to, but that's just an opinion. There's a lot of opinions out there. Everybody's got an opinion. You can make a case for raising rates right now. You can make a case for cutting rates. But really what it boils down to is jobs and prices. We want people working. We want them contributing to economy. The economy's decent. There's a little concern about jobs, but it's moving along. Deals are happening, and then there's the perspective out there. Rate cuts, the Fed funds rate cut, that does affect the commercial market a little bit more than the residential. Residential is kind of a non-event, but on the commercial end, it does because they're borrowing a lot closer to that Fed funds rate. Mortgage, there's a lot of people taking their cut of the pie by the time you get your residential mortgage. So everybody adds their little spread on there. But mortgage rates, they are down over the past few weeks. It ticked up the other day. Everybody's posting about rate cuts. Good time to buy. Well, I can't answer that. Like I said, I can't answer that question if it's a good time to buy or sell because every situation's different. It might not work for you right now, but let's sit down and talk about it. Jeffrey Gundlach, he's known as the bond king from the early 2000s. He says we still have some risk of loosening in the economy, of easing rates. I think rates are here. They're going to be here for a while. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. But, it's interesting. And let's just focus on what works for you, your deal, residential, commercial. Do the numbers work? Great. Let's make it happen. If they don't work, that's great too. Maybe there's another option. And that's what I enjoy, especially working with this chicken ranch now. It's finding solutions. How can we help him? And, just to wrap it up real quick, I'm still feeling a little bit of heaviness from this Charlie Kirk deal. It's, never met him, but, spoke to him a few times. And Actually, this week, it's interesting. This week has brought me to his neighborhood quite a few times. So every time I drive by, and it's got me thinking about why do I do what I do? I'm super big family first, family, family, family. So every time I drive by, I think of his family, and it breaks my heart. So anyway, why do I do what I do? And it's got me thinking, I love seeing families succeed. I love seeing the small business owners succeed. And family, we're pretty new to the empty nest. Well, maybe not so much anymore. A couple of year or two into the empty nest, my wife and I, our kids are adults and moved out. And what I miss most is their friends coming by. We've always kind of had the party house and the kids stopping by. And that's what I missed most. And that got me thinking, that's why I do what I do. It's just, if we can help you build your business, make good financial decisions for your business and their real estate, if we can help you find your home so you can have that solid base and raise your family, the weddings, the baptisms, the funerals, just anything. It's, family. It's huge to me. So anyway, it's weighing on me. But anyway, I'm going to be out there, stadium on Sunday. If you see me, say hello, please, and let's just, no matter what you think, no matter what your opinion is, we're all humans. We all got to work together. It's like working on a real estate deal. We all have the same goal. The seller has something to sell, buyer has something to buy. Let's work together, see what we can do to make that happen, get everybody, get everybody where they want to be. So anyway, that's, I don't know. Anyway, I got a lot of paperwork again today. Like I said, what I do isn't real exciting, but I'm not going to put on a skirt and dance around in front of a big fancy house, but well, find one for you. So anyway, have a great day. Be smart, be safe. And again, reach out if you have any questions at all, especially about this mortgage stuff. And let me know. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. 203-733-5877. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.